tempo here. Every single minion killed counts. They use the Rift out in mid lane. They won't be able to finish it off, but it is just teetering.
They're going top lane, which means Kingston are going bot lane. Time to run again.
Okay, let's see if we can escape this time round. Powder keg is set up in place as the Spirit's Refuge buys some time, and the barrels will not find their target. The towers are helping out. Let Me. Khan goes very, very low. Let Me survives the dive this time.
Man, this guy, definitely a good job down there, dodging out and being able to evade under the turret relieves so much pressure for RNG, as now 3 members, they have an extra person here around the low health turret.
Ooh, let's see around the mid lane. RNG not pushing further because Peanut actually showed up and Khan's ulti is still ready, but Xiao Hui doesn't care anymore. He's just taking everything.
Yep, still able to finish off the turret on the top side, and that is RNG up 1 outer turret versus Kingzone with 1 very close to follow.
He might complete his death cap very, very soon in this game. He is so fed with 3 kills, 143 CS as well, and he just got full gold from that turret.
And remember, it's scary for Gorilla because he does want to use the Devour to protect prey against a possible Skarner ultimate or hold it for that. But if a Vladimir gets to the back line, you cannot allow him access for a combo on any of your threats.
Yeah, and with that spellbook, he can go for Ghost, so it makes it even easier for him to get in there. We have the Shirella you highlighted earlier, Kobe. So Xiao will find his way back, and what we need to see from Gorilla if he wants to actually save prey from the Vladimir is that you devour a lot earlier than normal. You want to try and devour when Xiao appears the first time and lands down the ulti so that prey doesn't start taking a bunch of damage first, because after the ulti will proc, and that will proc in the belly.
And he's also working on an early QSS once again because he assumes that once he devours prey, he's going to be the target.
Oh, good damage onto Uzi. Very good flash away. Look at the Monsoon for Ming. That's going to save some time as Ming's now flashing for his life. Let Me arrives with the Stand United. RNG live to fight another day, and that day is now. Xiao Hu with the Crimson Rush and the Chemo Blade get healed right back up to max. The Impale manages to catch BDD. He's pulled backwards, and his zombie form will be taken down. Kingzone lose 1.
What an awesome fight, though. Great engage from Kingzone to start the entire thing. Prey lands the ulti. BDD flies in with the Scion, but Ming and Uzi prevents everything.
These fights are almost chess moves to Vishio. Good opening there from Kingzone, but better answer from RNG.
That keeps RNG in the lead. The fight happens moments before the next Drake, and they are potentially setting up for it.
Yeah, we might get another one here. Let Me. No ulti on the Shen, but he's around mid lane to join. Xiao Hu is still very healthy.
All right, the fracture comes out. Gorilla forced to use Devour. He takes a chilling smite to the face. The Howling Gale knocks Gorilla up into the end. Here comes Uzi. It's Xiao Hu that takes him out. True Shot Barrage tags onto Prey. The flash Flash rather, lines it up for Let Me. 7 kills to 1.
And that means the map is wide open for RNG to claim their prize. Infernal Drake gonna stack on top of that mountain.
Gentlemen, you can see why Vladimir was banned in the opening 2 games of the series. 4-0-3 for Xiao Hu. 100% kill participation and enough gold to complete Rabadon's death cap already.
And we can see why RNG ended up first in their group stage. When they get into these fights here, they execute them so well. Khan is actually fighting Xiao Hu.
Oh, Xiao Hu, has he bitten off more than he can chew? Flash is available to him and will go golden for now. Managing to use that stopwatch shot in the face of the parlay, and that's a huge amount of bonus gold to Kingzone. Sniped with the Mystic shot. 1-for-1 trade.
Oh, Peanut once again goes down there. Gorilla was almost there for the Devour, and that save would have meant a big Kingzone resurgence, but in the end, they're still able to push here off of the kill on the bottom side. The banner minion helping assist them.
This game just went completely crazy right there with the fight in mid, then around Drake, then in the bot lane. Look at this push here from Kingzone. It did secure them the first turret in the bot lane. Very important that Khan keeps farming because he's in the late game.
He did keep farming, and he canceled his recall to do so to Vishio.
All right, Caster's going to eat himself a powder keg to the face, and will use the Impale. Uzi is on a rampage.
That juicy minion wave right in front of the tower. The barrel already set up.
But that's the thing. Do you blame him? It was right there. He just needed a few hits, and we did ask for Khan to continue farming. He's technically just doing what we asked him about.
So your fault, in other words.
Yeah, it's my fault. Blame me.
Go.
Worth it as long as you get paid then, huh? right,
we'll find out, because if they go down 2-1 in the series, much less will that hurt. This is the replay of the fight just before the Dragon.
Yeah, so here we have RNG coming in, and it's only 4 members of Kingzone because TP from BDD comes down now, and I think Kingzone is walking way too early, completely unable to actually take a fight. And RNG has just shown us so many times that if you overextend slightly, they smack you.
Listen to that crowd erupt. Uzi throws his hands in the air. He's got himself 4 kills, 2 assists to complement that of Xiaohu. And RNG are once again in a commanding position. 5,000 gold up. Baron is going to become an objective, but it feels like RNG have enough of a lead. They can pick any fight they want for the next few minutes and be in an advantageous position.
What a series we have on our hands. That death cap is done for Xiaohu. He has tremendous threat onto the back line. And now every summoner spell. Uzi!
Wow, Uzi manages to use that arcane shift. Now he's exhausted. Here comes Khan. Stand United buying some time. There's no flash for Uzi, but he manages to get another arcane shift. Letme will not find the taunt, but there's enough damage coming out thanks to that Tiamat. Now Letme's in trouble. He gets chopped down, taken out, and killed by Prey's auto attack. Xiaohu's looking for a flank, but it's Uzi with the double to close it out.
Never doubt Uzi. He makes the play into a good one there as Ming on the Jenna gets a reset. Heals him back up, and they continue taking 2 for 1.
He actually just baited everyone, his own team and the enemy team, because everyone was just suddenly fighting back and forth here. Uzi had to use everything to try and get out with the QSS, but because Ming is always protecting him, he keeps us getting more kills.
Yeah, we've talked so much about the AD carries, but the trust between these duos really coming up big.
Ming 007 on that Janna. His monsoons have been game-changing. Finding the right targets, keeping Uzi alive.
Yeah, TPing again, they're gonna find some more.
Xiaohu's got a flash available to him. The Abyssal Voyage is actually being used into the river, but now Kasa, as well as Xiaohu, are here to back up Letme. A lot of damage going down into BDD. Xiaohu needs to use that Sanguine Pool to buy some time. Here comes Ming and Uzi. Kingzone are running for their lives. Peanut gonna get devoured up by Gorilla, spat out in a defensive posture. Cannon Barrage is on cooldown and can't be used yet.
We said in Champs League that if Kingzone do not get ahead with this comp, they might just lack damage in these fights here. Khan is still waiting for more items before he's a huge threat. So what's happening here is they TP in, they try and collapse onto Xiaohu, but they just can't burst anyone down. This is Uzi with the bait.
Yep, he's able to arcane shift in, then immediately backs out. Prey misses the Varus ultimate there. Shen stand united onto Uzi. Janna reset as well, and then Letme follows this one through. This is a 4v5 under turret with a health lead.
I thought Uzi had to flash out, but no, he just had got another arcane shift, and he actually stood his ground and took the fight. And then the rest of RNG show up and actually secure the kills.
Yep, they're able to kill BDD first and pick up the second one there with a nice arcane shift. Mystic
Sorry,
shot from Uzi.
No, this is live. This is live. This is Khan trying to farm down. Xiaohu solo kills him.
Nope, he's dead. He's dead. Trevor, very much dead. Khan off the field now, and Peanut might follow suit.
Oh my word! Even Peanut caught out, impaled backward. Ming with a license to kill. 107. RNG looking towards Baron.
And this kind of game, it just fits RNG's playstyle with this comp because they don't need any sort of main engage. They can just always wait for Kingzone to try and fight them and then flank them, jump at them, kill them. They're starting Baron here, 2 members dead from Kingzone. And this game is just way too fast and everything is in favor of RNG.
I'm sure RNG feeling at home. The crowd is behind them every time they make a big play as well. And that Baron buff is going to let them go very, very close to the Kingzone base.
The first international final in several years. RNG as an organization and Uzi have had so many opportunities in finals. Uzi was once called the bridesmaid, never the bride, never able to hoist a trophy. And now on the verge of going 2-1 up.
I know that feeling, by the way.
And being so close, so close to being crowned MSI champion.
We said this was probably the best chance for RNG to shut down Kingzone and claim the title. They showed game 1, they were the stronger team. Game 3 here, they're definitely showing that they have the upper hand over Kingzone.
For Kingzone being down 10,000 gold, being down the Baron buff as well, it becomes enormously difficult to win this game. Because even with a crucial pick, there's enough damage from Xiaohu or Uzi to just close out the game. And our RNG, 24 minutes in, the You got to break open the base, Kobe. They have to get over that final hurdle.
Oh, they are so excited to do it. Splitting immediately into 1-3-1. Let me in the Shen on top side. Using the Baron-empowered minions up there to push them into Khan. Xiaohu got the bottom side going, and now they're converging on this blue quadrant.
Let's see where they go from there. You can hear Paris. Let's go. Oh, let's go King Zone, in fact. Let's stop to listen to the calls.
They won 5 games.
Everybody loves an underdog, and this series has been amazing. They definitely want to see him push through.
All right, uzi now trying to get some chip damage here on this inhibitor turret while Letme's pushing top.
He's chipping a lot of damage.
Is available. Aura the Slayer will not find a target, and because there was no engage, Ming's Howling Gale finds nobody. Chain of Corruption. Manages to tag onto Uzi. He uses the QSS. Manages to escape with his life for now. Stand United buying some time. Uzi's just on the front line ADC. The Impale onto BDD. He's taken out, and this gives access to the inhibitor.
The King Zone, they just don't have the damage right now. They cannot lock down Uzi in time, and now it's a mid-inhib falling. Xiaohu coming with the big wave in the bot lane.
Uzi was able to take his first LPL. Oh, never mind. Let's go finish this one up. Uzi's gonna get hit with the barrel.
And Barrage comes back out, but just look at the healing. The shield. I didn't even see how Xiaohu popped prey on the back end. But with Baron-empowered minions and 60 seconds to go, King Zone have no defenses, have no power, and have nothing to stop RNG. Royal never give up, are 1 win away from the championship and their first international title.
And we have to remember, in MSI history, we have 3 winners. Koreans won it twice. EDG won it once. I realized I said 3 winners. I always remember we've had 3 tournaments. And it's 2-1 Korea, it might be 2-2. Great point, I'm glad the game ended. Cut that part.
Boys. Uzi's got a taste of winning this year, and he likes it. Now they are 1 game away from him claiming his destiny of an international title.
3rd winner, that's what I mean.
Uzi
Give it up!
himself.
There we go, it's RNG.
Uzi himself at the top of the show, we had that hype video, and he said, I am tired of losing in finals. 4 regional finals, he's only won 1. He had 2 world championship finals, which he lost in back-to-back years, and now he's 1 game away from winning this title.
That
Not being the
like
bridesmaid
second
anymore.
place.
No, he doesn't. Anyways, gentlemen, that's enough from us. Let's head down to the State Farm analyst desk to get their thoughts on how RNG won the game.
Thank you very much. Quick shot. RNG knows they had game 2 in the bag, and they're playing game 3 like they know that. Trying to strike back, trying to close it out in 4, and they push the series to 2-1.
And this is the best form of RNG. I said it throughout this tournament. This is not RNG at their strongest. This was a team that was supposed to be a triple threat team. Jungle, mid, and AD carry. When they showed up to the tournament, it was just Uzi who came to play. Now, they let the Vladimir go through, and Xiaohu has finally arrived in Paris.
And Xiaohu was excellent at baiting here. This was all about timing out the pull the blood here, the W here. They actually had it off cooldown, just the gank came through. Kingzone over chase, and then Xiaohu was unlocked on the map before a Scion mid, which is all about being roaming around the map, ever could get anywhere.
Yeah, and they had minion dematerializer for when the banner minion was going to come mid lane. Xiaohu's now fed, he's able to go bottom. What happened essentially after that first blood as well as the gank top is RNG gained control of all 3 lanes. The one lane that was supposed to be in Kingzone's favor would be the Scion to push in. Once they lose that, the other 2 lanes that are pushing just collapse because RNG played so well.
And the thing is from the draft, it should not have been that position. You know, taking Shin into a gangplank, that is a terrible matchup. You are never going to have a good time. And Scion should have enough push to keep Vladimir at least occupied in the mid lane. But like Pop is saying, you know, with the W cooldown not being accounted for, with Peanut and BDD fumbling the gank, it opened up opportunities for Xiaohu to roam and find the side lane pressure.
And Xiaohu was feeling it, Jad and Dash. The big thing there was he actually used his dematerialized attacks early, 5 of them before even the banner came out, because he was feeling, I can push and roam. If I get that first push, I can make things happen. And again, it's him that makes the unexpected move, because Vladimir on the map before Scion is unheard of.
And just to put a stamp on your point, Jad, about what that does, winning the mid lane for RNG to the rest of the lanes, Uzi's 10K timing. Do you want to guess?
I'm going to say 19 minutes, 50 seconds.
1847.
Oh, are you kidding me?
1847.
I mean, that said, we can sing Uzi's praises all day, but I want to talk about the unsung hero, Ming. He played so goddamn well this game. if they win this series, if this had been a 3-0, I almost say that you give MVP to Ming, because while Uzi is getting all of the flash, all of the recognition, Ming has been right there next to him, so perfect on these Janna ults.
Exactly, it's how you play and enable your AD carry, as well as just looking at how Prey can never become involved in any of these fights. There's the threat of Karsa, there's always Let Me around the back. He's getting dove by the Vladimir constantly. Prey's actually not even getting to auto-attack in these fights.
It's a good point, right? The one big one-team fight for Kingzone in Game 2 was the one in which Prey was left unchecked.
Look at
Never
this.
given that opportunity.
Janna did more damage than Varus.
Oh boy.
My goodness.
And the draft was such a swinger. That's the fun thing here, is this game was all about where the cuts were made. We did see Aurelia banned. It did end up taking a spot on the RNG ban list. The Orin ban was supposed to open up some more things for Khan, but in the end, they give up the Vladimir. They say, okay, take the Vladimir. That's the one adaptation. First time Vladimir's left open, it's snapped up, it's a big champion. And the second round, Janna's not banned, could have been banned. They look over it, and like you say, Proscurin, unsung heroes certainly made.
And I do want to remind everyone that Vladimir is a huge pick for RNG. Not only do they use it as a flex pick between Let Me and Xiaohu, but it also means that they can play their 1-3-1 style as well as their 5v5 style. It is a huge weapon in their arsenal.
Yeah, and they also need to double down and refocus, because RNG may feel like they could have this one, but they were also up 2-1 on SKT at the World Championship in the semifinals, and then lost the next 2 games. And it was also a pretty stomping Game 3 they had back then as well. So now is the moment for Uzi to get the international title.
I'll do you one better. They were 2 up over EDG last split before this most recent one, and they got reverse swept. So Uzi, he does start to get that little voice in the back of his head. He starts to sweat a little bit. Watch his face. Watch if he goes into Zen or if he's going to continue to ride this momentum.
We talk about morale and momentum being high for RNG, but that composure is necessary if they're going to drive it home. I want to talk about what Kingzone's feeling right now. Again, the only victory they have in this series was a game in which they were on the back foot the entire time. And here again, another crushing defeat in Game 3. They got to put 2 together, back-to-back, Papa Smithy. Can it be done?
It's possible, but I kind of come on the side of it being unlikely. They haven't been on the back foot in the LCK really at all this entire season. They lost the first game of the finals, but from there rolled through. I think this is the time where they go really to standard, they go really to comfort. If I'm RNG, I might consider banning Jace early just to stop the Jace game coming through, because that is the real tonic for a Kingzone comeback.
And Dash, I need 2 questions answered. Is there subs, and which side did Kingzone choose? Because they better pick blue.
I got answers for both, and you're going to be very, very disappointed. Kingzone electing to stay on red. No subs coming. So we got some stubborn teams facing off here in the finals.
I am shocked that they're not trying to wrestle that first pick Ezreal away. So I feel like they have to ban that Ezreal from Uzi. Yes, the Vladimir was big. The Janna ban was big going later in the game. But he's constantly in a state of lane priority down bottom, and he will snowball the game to victory if you give it to him. I'm very surprised the Kingzone's staying red side.
But I think the easy solution is actually just to give the Karma ban away. The fact that they keep banning on red side, Jat, you talked about this previously. I think instead, you throw out the Karma ban, you put the Ezreal there, and that just means we're going to get Uzi's Kog'Maw.
It's all about minimizing the problems, and there are a lot of them here for Kingzone. I think you're going to have to leave something up. Even the Kai'Sa could sneak through here if you want to try and win lane through that, but seems to try that this tournament and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, to try and figure out what Kingzone is thinking with the red side, they've relied on getting counterpick the entire season. Why stop now? Probably is what they're thinking. And I agree that the Karma could be an answer to wrestling lane priority away. Drop that ban the Vladimir again, right? Get it back. We know that RNG is going to continue to ban the Aurelia because that works so well. And it's a huge uphill battle now for
so often we talk about going back to comfort with that counter pick. Do you think it should go to Khan, the guy in the top lane?
I think you go for an earlier champion, a Jace or a Camille as early as you can get it, and try and leave the counter pick somewhere else. This was a game where with the Orin man, they still ended up with GP versus tank. That could have been GP versus Orin, which is pretty similar, all things considered. So I think indexing into Khan, setting up Khan for success, that is still their win condition. That doesn't necessarily need to mean last picking on red side.
I do want to say that there still seems to be some disconnect on cross-map communication between Khan and the rest of the team. There was a couple times he's getting caught out in these side lanes that maybe when they were going for the dive, it's Khan that grabs the tower aggro as opposed to Peanut. It was a wonky situation there. So even if they set Khan up for success, I don't know if under such a high-pressure situation, because this is 2 international events now that Khan has had a very shaky performance, if he can actually step up and be that superstar that we know him to be in the LCK.
And especially looking at the rest of Kingzone, Prey and Gorilla just had a Varus game where he did under 5,000 damage after carrying on the Varus in Game 2. When they talk about really needing to get that first international event, how much more it would mean to win as the sole representative of Korea, that pressure has been on their heads the entire tournament. I don't think they've necessarily dealt with it to the way SKT did. It's all on the line now.
Papa Smoothie, I have to imagine that pressure is only growing and growing and growing. Again, we have to remember that a lot of these guys on King's Zone at international tournaments have fallen short. So on top of living up to the ghost of SKT, it's about defeating their own demons, right, that have been plaguing them throughout their tournament, or rather their careers.
It has to be with comfort. I think they need to fall back to something, maybe a different strategy. Again, the Jace, I would just consider banning it first round as RNG. Where do you fit that in? I don't have all the answers, but you need comfort here. They are a fiery bunch, these guys. We've seen the happy side of it. The sad side is probably just as vicious, so it's a close call.
Well, it's not us who has to have the answers. It's King's Zone, right? So RNG here on match point. They're on the cusp of claiming the title of MSI champion. We'll see if King's Zone can bring this series to Game 5 when we return.
Sanguine Pool will buy some time. Ignite is burning. Flash forward. First blood to RNG. That's a flash forward from Xiaohu. Gorilla's Grey Health will buy some time, but the transfusion will be enough to take down Prey. The Howling Gale knocks Gorilla up into the air. Here comes Uzi. It's Xiaohu that takes him out. True Shot Barrage tags onto Prey. The flash taunt. Now Lemny's in trouble. He gets chopped down, taken out, and killed by Prey's auto attack. Xiaohu's looking for a flank, but it's Uzi with the double to close it out. With Baron empowered minions and 60 seconds to go, King's Zone have no defenses, have no power, and have nothing to stop RNG. Hello and welcome back to Game 4 of Kingzone versus Royal Never Give Up at the Mid-Season Invitational 2018. This is match point. And just to inform you guys, once again, there will be no change. Kingzone have selected red side and there are no substitutions.
Question in everyone's mind, Trevor, is that sun about to set on Kingzone as well? LCK's dominance is on the line, and now they've got to come back.
Well, let's see. RNG, Camille Talia, no big surprises. Just have to swap them back around once again. Vladimir ban coming in. This is what we saw earlier. They didn't ban Vladimir in game 3, and Xiaohu picked it up, and he destroyed everyone.
Definitely true, and they immediately slap him back on the ban list here. One more left. Will it be the Ezreal? Will they switch more up? And that is going to ring true. The crowd also having something
Kai'Sa, is that where Uzi goes?
Oh,
it's definitely a first
he should,
pickable champion. You do have to worry more about your lane phase punishment, though.
Yeah, I think Kingzone is saying we can't afford to lose early game right now, especially not if they want to play around Khan and get him ahead. So they need a bot lane matchup that they can win.
You want Gorilla to be your point man. Gorilla with the engage. Rakan and Desire for the extra long range.
Ornn is still open though in this draft. So if they go Skarner, Ornn here plus Kai'Sa, that late game is absolutely insane. But again, Kingzone are very clearly saying we just don't want to fall behind early, and especially not in the bot lane. So now they have a playmaker. I'm looking at things like Galio mid lane, or the Sion again, things where you can roam from BDD side down and punish everyone.
BDD has to be the difference maker in this game. Xiaohu absolutely took control of game number 3, and he's going to need to strike back. Things like you're talking about that can roam around from the mid lane would be what you want to see from that role.
All right, let's see what BDD locks in. Kai'Sa with another Skarner game. He is currently 5 wins, 1 loss in the tournament. Has not been subbed out for MLXG after joining for the final. Now, Olaf found himself on the Phase 2 ban list in every single one of the previous games. The previous, and it's going to get locked in now.
And this change is important again because Kingzone are playing more for the early game. They need a jungler that can really match what Skarner is doing, and Peanut is now on the Olaf.
Yeah, they have a lot of possibilities to play off of here with the Olaf now locked in from Peanut, the champion you associate with him, invading early and trying to get control. Level 1 invade should be on your mind now, and you actually have some more time to think about it as the bans come through.
We might get Ming on a melee support this time around. Tom Kench or the Braum to try and protect Uzi, because the goal should not be to try and hard win the bot lane here with Kai'Sa. Your scaling is insane. Aim for the late game.
Yeah. Do you want to get the Braum, maybe have a little bit stronger of a level 1, or maybe have the Unbreakable for later on in the game as well? Or do you want to try and get that Kai'Sa scaling quicker with one of those strong matchups?
Well, there is something for RNG to decide. I think now they should expect Khan to either go for a Fiora Illaoi type champion, because I'm not expecting him to go AP top.
Yeah, and actually the Morgana was the only other range champion that I was looking for to go with the Kai'Sa. You know, that one, Black Shield's so good later on, plus, you know, trying to hit those bindings early on the lane phase. Now I think
just do it,
it's gonna be more difficult.
We said it already, just lock it in. Thank you very much. He did it earlier in the group stages, specifically against Ornn. And what happens is, if you try and go up as a jungler after level 6 to gank the Illaoi, she turns it around and 1v2s you. So this is the really classic, leave me alone, just let me push 24/7, and eventually Khan is strong enough to walk into a team fight.
Yep, Khan wants to be left alone, wants to abuse the tank matchup, but RNG want to play as a team here. Another suppression for themselves. And again, the Janna reset, gonna try and help Uzi in the bottom lane.
So Janna, again, good for laning phase, but very bad if you camp the lane. There's a Rakan to engage, there's an Olaf to gank early. I want to forget a Galio here, because there is so many ways for him to reach the back line, and they can just protect Illaoi when she smacks in with the ulti. Let's see what he ends up locking in. Whoa!
Whoa! A Vel'Koz?
So he does not want to play Galio against Malzahar specifically here. He thinks about the matchup, and instead, one of the things teams used to do against Malzahar when he was picked all the time was very long-range poke. Vel'Koz can bring that, can easily get rid of the Malzahar passive, and then you can try and all in.
He can also have some more control early, especially with this Olaf, so maybe they do try and look for some early jungle invades.
The tournament life is on the line for Kingzone Dragon X, and in their potentially last game, they have Ilaoi top and Vel'Koz mid.
Best meta ever.
Honestly, this tournament has been full of surprises, and I'm happy that they still had some in store for the finals as well.
Well, they did say during the LCK finals that they didn't have to show anything. They had so many things prepared for that one specifically. We were kind of waiting then for the next best of 5 where Kingzone could get challenged. Flash Wolves didn't manage to take them down, so they didn't have to show too many unique things. Saving it though. Vel'Koz coming in, and of course we have already seen the Ilaoi once, but I'm glad we see it again.
Yeah, Ilaoi. For those to recap, versus tanks, she's so happy because she can do max percentage health damage. She can also heal max percentage of her HP every time her tentacles hit. And that makes it very difficult for tanks to finish off a kill onto Ilaoi. So sometimes they get a little baited into thinking they can actually have the last bit of damage.
Exactly. Ilaoi is all about just stay alive doing your ulti because you have so much damage coming from these different massive tentacles. The way you typically can shut her down is either you knock her away, that's a Janna ulti, or you burst her down so quickly that she never really gets enough hits off to do anything.
Yeah, and we'll see, because Kingzone don't want to be forced into those group situations. Definitely going to try and play off the pressure once again.
What a game. The Void is unleashed with Malzahar versus Vel'Koz in the mid. And of course, Kai'Sa playing from the AD carry role.
I definitely agree with the split push coming in from Ilaoi, but I feel with the rest of the lineup and just looking at the amount of AoE damage they can deal, Kingzone will eventually end up in 5 versus 5s. And if they engage properly, imagine a world where we get Ilaoi ulti combined with a Vel'Koz ulti and AoE engage from a Rakan. Like, that is a wombo combo that one-shots almost everyone.
Very, very true. We'll have to see if the interrupts do come through, though, because again, much like the rest of this series, there is room for outplay here. And what I teach you before about the Orn Horn, Deficio.
That's not running away, I guess.
Well, I think that's the opposite of what Kingzone will be wanting to do in an ideal world. We'll keep our eyes on how these team fights play out once we get there. But as we've mentioned a whole bunch, definitely scaling on the side of RNG. Definitely, you know, they need some time to get up. But Xayah, Rakan, Vel'Koz, Olaf, I'm already terrified of those champions at this point in the game.
All right, well, speaking of the Olaf, Peanut starting off on the Raptors. That makes you think he'll go red afterwards and then down to his blue buff to continue on his clear. Very quick, you can get very low on HP with this champion for extra attack speed and not have to worry.
Yeah, I really want to see Peanut focus a lot on ganking. Bottom lane, you can shut down these range supports with engage from Rakan, plus your jungler. Looking top lane, you don't actually have to gank Rakan, you can just leave the Ilaoi in the 1v1.
Exactly. Gorilla here has Ignite on the Rakan. Look for the knockup, try and pressure the Janna, and take him down.
Grand Entrance doesn't find the knockup, there's an early Ignite from Gorilla, and Uzi's able to escape.
Well, there you go. Uzi able to get just outside the range of the knockup here. And that's going to allow Ming and him to retain control. Now, we've also seen Karsa pretty heavily focus on, you know, pass by ganks where they go for a little bit of vision, just to make sure that...
Ming.
Ooh, some damage going down. No summoner spell, though. But tension and pressure building in this 2v2.
What was going to be a big all-in, also because Peanut was in the river. He was kind of hovering around the bottom side, but no Predator yet.
Definitely know why you're on your toes, Deficio. These range matchups, they always feel like you're the big bully for the whole lane until Gorilla gets fed up, and he goes all in, and they get a combo.
Check this out, though, here. First pro game for BDD on Vel'Koz. It is fun, though, because in the LCK, I saw a lot of Vel'Koz games. A lot of other regions didn't really want to touch it, especially in Europe. We haven't seen a lot of Vel'Koz mid lane, but LCK kept picking it, and it is such an interesting champion because you have way more burst damage than people expect when they try and go for plays around him. If you manage to land and knock up into your full combo and then with ult, when you start really proccing them passive stacks, like, it is crazy how fast you burn through people.
In addition, in lane, Vel'Koz, you like to put a bunch of points into your Void Rift for lane control. And against Malzahar, he can just throw out 2 Ws, and that'll help him push it and push Xiaohu around.
All right, Xiao steps forward to get out of range of that plasma vision, of course. The angles is what this is all going to be about. Xiao pretty adept at dodging those skill shots for now. That was BDD's E, that was B-Dot.
Yeah, Xiao's life is not very fun early game. He definitely can't really trade back effectively, and he doesn't have enough mana either before he starts building up. Some of the items could be more there, and he gets ulti. And that's the thing about Vel'Koz. If you're pushing and trading, and a Malzahar clicks ult on you, you end up dying when the enemy jungle shows up.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes on getting, when they get access to the ultimate, how that plays out. But we caught a quick glimpse of Let Me and Khan trading back and forth. Let Me actually just standing and going blow for blow with Khan despite the test of spirit. Khan's got a lot of those defensive tentacles already in place. I'm pretty happy if Let Me keeps pushing into him, just to fall back, play that sort of reactive Alawi style.
All right, check back in with Peanut on the Olaf. He has had a power clear, and he's looking at the bottom lane, looking at Uzi.
And this is why. 28 KDA.
He wants to get rid of that KDA, that's for sure. He's around.
82% kill participation.
Oh, is he going to ward it here? Walk
Right,
the ward.
Prey and Gorilla are in the river. I don't think we've gone vision up yet. Woo, woo, woo. Not going to find the right target.
He was actually checking the tri-brush to see if Prey and Gorilla were walking back into the lane here. Did not walk into place the ward because it was on cooldown.
Uzi walking the edge right there. Doesn't step too close to the bush. Backs off and avoids the extra members in bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane, Khan gonna have some extra members to deal with.
Oh, look at that. The moment the leap is used. First blood picked up by RNG.
Karsa again. This guy on Skarner has been so active and continues to find early game effect.
And Khan not level 6 yet. We already saw some of the damage he can deal as long as he gets to stay alive for a few seconds. Later with the ulti, it's gonna be even more damage coming in, but here they know, okay, we can go in, change CC him, and just try and kill him, but this tentacle there, they're gonna keep hitting.
And this was the counter pick matchup that Karsa is able to help Let Me out.
Later.
He's 1-0 for now, and let's see if Let Me can get far enough ahead to eliminate Khan from this match.
And why did that happen, Trevor? It happened because Peanut, who is usually playing around top triangle of the map, went bottom to Prey and Gorilla to try and make that play with the control ward on Uzi, because Uzi's such a big thing.
Oh, there it is!
Oh, the life form disintegration ray used, but the heal saved his life.
Oh, it hurts so much here. BDD forcing Xiao to use heal and force him to go back towards base here. Peanut is starting the Drake because of it, but look here, Karsa, Uzi, and Ming. They have control of bottom side.
Pushing bottom lane does so much to help out in that Drake control. Karsa now uses that to move up and ward Peanut.
Vision manages to back away. RNG just a little ahead. Pretty comfortable for now, but look at the CS differences. Plus 15 for BDD, plus 12 for Uzi in the bottom lane.
And now we start getting level 6s. Khan, he's going to be much harder to gank now because he can turn it around. Mid lane, Xiaohu's ulti is there. I'm waiting for Karsa to get his, and then I think ganking BDD is going to be a very effective move from RNG's side because if Vel'Koz simply can't escape.
Oh, there we go. Harsh lesson. The test of faith. A lot of damage onto Let Me's ghost. He's going to need to kill a few of those tentacles before he's going to be safe. And as it stands, he'll be able to farm safe.
Yeah, Khan just keep rocking the Klepto there. As we said before here, when you pick Alawi, it's not to level 1 or 2 completely stomp the lane. You scale very well in the side lane with Black Cleaver. You get Klepto as well for extra gold generation, and once he gets that item, that's when he gets really scary.
Yeah, presetting right now, gonna walk his way back out. Both teleports for top lane are in sync. BDD in the mid lane has swapped his over, but it's still on cooldown, making use of the summoner spellbook to lower it a little bit.
All right, let's see how well these next few minutes play out. We're approaching 10 minutes. It's still even as far as the gold is concerned, thanks to some of those CS numbers. But in terms of how the draft played out, this is maybe a little bit more what we were anticipating from strengths and weaknesses of the respective teams. You know, from what we had seen, we talked a lot about how RNG was sort of the late game team, and Kingzone had been the early game team, even though that's not been the case this series.
And in this draft, I think RNG are pretty happy with the early game and the way that this one is going. You know, they have Kai'Sa trying to scale up on the bottom side. They haven't had the threat, you know, of the Rakan all-in really come to fruition yet. That being said, Gorilla is now level 6, and it becomes much more threatening.
I'm still waiting for Peanut to really start showing how much he can actually gank on this Olaf here. I think back to some of the past tournaments where he's played Olaf and he's just dominated early games. Not the case so far.
Exactly. I mean, he wasn't even able to protect the Lowy up on the top side. Meanwhile, bottom, once again, Karsa is there.
All right, there's 2 level 6s on the side of Kingzone. Gorilla gets in, gets out. And it is just the heal of Monsoon to save the day.
Oh, Karsa also used Flash. He tried to grab Gorilla before he went back towards Prey. Around the mid lane, Peanut is looking for something, but Xiaohu is playing it very passive. Small win for Kings on bot lane, and that can be important.
Yep, they got a lot of damage done, and they got the Janna ultimate out in addition to that flash that you mentioned. So some cooldowns to keep track of, but RNG still holding fairly strong.
It just feels like this game is so explosive. With all of the champions, the suppression, the damage.
There's the horn!
All of the Forge God comes out. That will be an insta-flash by Khan, and Xiaohu's roam will negate in nothing. The summoner spell for now. Let's wait for the refresh and the regain.
Well, let's see if Peanut on the bottom side can do something. Blast Cone over. Karsa is on his way, but there's no TP to actually defend. Peanut is going in.
All right, let's take a look. There goes the undertow. Won't find any slow. BDD's already backing away. He's heading to the mid lane. Kingzone will be happy just to get some additional damage, get some additional control for a lane that really was struggling a little. Frey and Gorilla, they fell behind in CS despite the strength that Zion Rakan offered.
Again, though, Karsa comes over. He's able to escort them through to the minion wave at the turret, and Uzi picks some more up. Look at the CS there. He's doing so well getting these last hits, even with Kingzone having multiple visits to the bottom side.
They're looking top laning at Xiaohu. It's actually just Rift Hell being started. It just spawned. Poor guy instantly gets destroyed.
Touche. Good catch there, Deficio. There's no vision from Kingzone either, so not going to be aware. There's some missing pings from when Xiaohu roamed. That was why Khan backed away. Peanut, he sniffs something is up. The scrying one there will get a reveal onto Karsa as well as the Rift Herald. And then they're going to back away, so not going to secure the objective yet. Just an interruption, a little bit of a waste of time on the side of RNG.
Honestly, though, I can't blame Karsa and RNG for throwing out, moves like that, where they have been able to sneak quite a lot of early game objectives. A lot of the dragons been taken just in time with that Skarner Spire. This time around, though, Peanut catches them in the act. And again, this is an Infernal Drake on bottom side, so we're going to have to get back towards that one as well.
Yeah, if Kingzone can manage to secure a kill bot lane and then get Infernal Drake from it, it is such a huge win for them with this Zyra Rakan combo. But Ming and Uzi have done a great job trying to play defensive. Peanut, he's back again.
He's back again, and he's timing it almost with Gorilla's Ignite. A few seconds left on that Summoner's spell, so they might be able to spark something here around the Infernal Drake.
Who is the target? Ming was able to get out from the Tribush. Karsa was a threat of being collapsed on, and nothing happened yet. All right, so Kingzone, they're going to get the Scuttle Crab, and then potentially set themselves up for a Dragonflight at some point. Look at the vision around that area of the map, as well as allowing Prey and Gorilla just to keep pressing forward, keep shoving its Uzi and Ming.
Yeah, they've had this control on the bottom side, but Karsa keeps being down here as well, acting as another defensive tool for RNG, making it a little bit harder for Kingzone to set up that tower dive or the quick Infernal Drake. But they keep getting mid-push, they can just start it, and worst case, they get a fight.
Worst case, let's see who wins that fight. All right, Peanut in the pit on the Dragon. Throwing out a couple of those reckless swings. There's no teleports used yet. Khan and Let Me, they were trading. I'm looking to see if they back away, and neither team willing to start that fight yet. Losing a fight and Infernal at 12 minutes could determine the game.
RNG seems so calm in this one, calling every play. Xiaohu actually going to have to burn his stopwatch there. That is definitely a big resource.
Kudos to BDD, landing every single one of those skill shots, forcing out the stopwatch. Looking at the minimap again, Peanut as well as BDD with the roam opportunity. But it's this pressure cooker. The longer it goes, the more it is at stake. Towers can fall, Infernal Drake can fall. Khan still has no flash. Xiaohu's looking for a dive.
Yeah, he has his ultimate ready.
All right, here comes Fall of the Forge God. That's going to be an easy tag. Does the Void Swarm. RNG punishing the flashless Khan.
RNG are just destroying this Kingzone lineup. Peanut's focusing on the bottom side, unable to get much done there, so Khan is paying the price. This time around, though, they've hard committed to the top side with that Malzahar, and Kingzone want to get something in trade.
So let's see if they can actually get the top lane turret down in time and trade it for Infernal Drake. This is a TP coming from BDD to defend. So Kingzone, they lose the top laner, they get the Drake, and they don't lose the turret here. So a good reaction on their side. And Xiaohu showing, well, if you're not a melee champion, you can still go up and gank and allow it, because then she can't even get to you.
All right, now you got to keep track of those teleports, though, because Xiaohu walked his way up here. He did not use his teleport, and RNG have the possibility of making another play right out of this replay. But here's another look at it. Pretty simple there, boys. Just layer your crowd control, and they were able to kill the target.
And of course, that allowed Kingzone to pick up the 10th dragon of the series. Fitting considering their name. They've got that Infernal Drake. It will help out as this game scales up. And I'm looking at itemization, gentlemen. Rage Blade for Uzi already. Prey still working towards that Essence Weaver. So I'm already a little nervous of this guy, so I know how good she scales, but that Rage Blade is great already.
It's so impressive. He's sitting on so much CS here with the Kai'Sa when he's been against a jungler like Olaf that's hovered around his lane multiple times, but he always managed to get the farm and then step out and not actually risk going down. So Kingzone have not been able to utilize the Zyra Khan yet. That being said, they do both scale very well, and there's going to be a lot of big team fights where the wombo combo from Kingzone with all the AoE damage can always turn everything around.
Could be the case, but it's going to be tricky to get their hands on Uzi on that Kai'Sa and hold him down. On the items, though, for them, at least they do have BDD banner completed for him, so they can add some extra pressure, and Khan as well, the Black Cleaver, so he can shred armor, in addition to having level 2 ultimate available.
Well, let's see what Khan's going to do as this fight breaks out, of course. Throws the ultimate down. Let Me is getting bullied. It's immediately after that Black Cleaver was picked up. Which we were talking about just a little bit earlier. The Test of Spirit comes out. Let Me, with the Bellows Breath shield, stays alive a few seconds longer. There's no support from anyone else, and Let Me still sticking around. I'm holding my breath in case there's some sort of engage.
And it's so fun for Khan now to play Lowry, because once you get some levels, you start getting to the point where you just spam your slam onto them for proc it. Let's see what happens here. No, it's just Peanut running away.
Interesting option there for Xiaohu, forcing the trade of ultimates as well. Now he's on the run.
Okay, a little bit of damage there. Let Me still sticking around. He's under pressure. The quickness comes in. The life form disintegration. Death Ray secures a kill onto Xiaohu. That's a double for BDD at the cost of Gorilla's life. It's not done yet as Let Me's running away from Khan. Khan's looking to put a harsh lesson down. He's not going to be able to get one. That's a double for Kingzone.
They're able to finally crack the defense here from RNG and get some kills for themselves with their solo laners exerting pressure.
Yeah, 2 kills now for BDD. Deals so much damage, even with the banner build on his side here. Let Me will kill the wave, but he's so low, and there are so many tentacles around. If Khan gets onto him, slams down, the tentacle will hit right after as well, and there's just so much extra damage coming from this Illaoi. So 2 solo laners under a lot of pressure.
And even though Karsa is able to get Gorilla and get 1 kill back for them, look at this, he's gonna have to use so much to do it. He flashes over to go for the Rakan again and try and make them at least lose something. In the end though, he also goes down, so Kingzone happy to get that extra kill.
Kingzone get 2. It was only 1 for RNG. Khan may have stuck around far too long. He gets taken out. All the CC is layered. And that's an easy reply by RNG.
And that's honestly just lazy here by Khan, not even paying attention to the rest of the map. His mid laner was running from base. His dual lane was not in their lane. You can't be pushing to the enemy turret.
Exactly, for a team based on pressure, you need the other sides to be holding up their end of the bargain.
It's not the first time we've seen that falter. Of course, game 1 of the series, extremely close until Kingzone tried a 1-3-1. That was punished. They hung around, and RNG took the lead. Now, Tower First Blood picked up there by RNG in the top lane. You can feel the energy in this stadium is electric. Kingzone on the verge of being eliminated, on the verge of losing the final, and Uzi's going to get tagged by that Plasma Fission. The death ray is interrupted, I think, by the Howling Gale, the Monsoon rather, as now Ming as well as Uzi are chasing. Let Me's teleport completes, and Kingzone escape with their lives.
Yeah, BDD's just controlling this mid lane here, lands all the damage he needs, forces RNG away, and then Ming tries to use flash in with exhaust, had to use ulti first to actually stop the ult from BDD, but after that, BDD just walks away, only had to use his ghost. Big win for him, and then it doesn't matter if your top laner is just dying because your mid laner and your bot lane just got the turn.
Yep, a lot used from RNG there to try and close the trap, get that punishment, but
Almost got the mid.
Couple hits more, it'll be
It's effective.
momentarily. But here's a replay, of course. ED throwing down that ult.
yeah, and Uzi just gets to the very edge of that knockup. That means Ming commits everything. He walks up, uses his ult, flash exhaust to try and chase down a kill, but even though they also call for the teleport from Let Me, he had no ultimate to face that with.
If he had ult, it would make a lot of sense that they're trying to chase down BDD, but in the end, they lose a bunch of summoners. Khan, despite dying, did actually not use anything, so Kingzone still have a lot of pressure down towards the bottom lane here, and we're just kind of waiting for the next play around BDD because he's been going crazy this game.
It is insane how much action we have had. We're approaching 20 minutes. It feels like there have been skirmishes the entire time. Threats of dives, potential kills. And as it stands, BDD that you were talking about, Deficio, he's up 30 CS. He's got a Luden's Echo to complement the banner of command. And that tower that was effectively dead is now officially dead. And that will allow Kingzone a little bit more safety, maybe, when it comes to pushing onto this mountain drake. They got the first Infernal. BDD will be the recipient of a Call of the Forge God. And at max range, it will get the knockup, but there's simply no follow-up after the fact. RNG, that's a big initiation cooldown, no longer available.
BDD knows his rhymes. He heard the horn, immediately started running from Ornn, and he able to get out without burning any cooldowns right there. So even though maybe the message was sent, it's Kingzone. They get back out onto the map. They know that the engagement's not there, so they can take this mountain straight.
Okay, we're now getting into the mid-game portion. When we look at the itemization, dragon number 2 picked up here by Kingzone. What are we coming to expect? Kingzone have got a lot of initiation tools, but to be fair, so do RNG.
Well, I'm ready for Kingzone to basically one-shot Ming when the fight starts. He's not sitting with Flash right now. Prey and Gorilla with Zyra Khan can easily set it up, and then BDD's ult follows.
It's a great point to bring up because it's not supposed to be the Skarner flashing in to ult the Rakan while he's zipping around. This is what the Malzahar range suppress would be much better suited to do. If it's actually Xiaohu who's able to stuff Gorilla and stop that engagement, that would be what RNG would want to win a team fight with.
Yeah, 100% agree. So I really want to see QSS from Gorilla, because then you can actually get back out of the fight once you jump in.
Gorilla does have the unsealed spellbook, currently sitting on Ignite Flash. We should be changing that to Cleanse unless he's got enough money for QSS. Sitting on 700 gold.
Not going to save you against Skarner Malzahar.
Ah, touche. Thank you.
Riot support lied to you.
Gonna need a little bit more itemization money then, before that becomes plausible. And for Kingzone, it is still going to be getting this very interesting, very unique team composition to work. Use that pressure that we talked about from the fact that BDD and Prey are farming and doing so well.
Yeah, so they're doing well, which buys more time for Khan. And while he's definitely been caught out a few times and there's been some resources invested into killing him, the rest of Kingzone have benefited from it, and this Illaoi is still going to win the side lane. So right now, by having a stronger four-man group, Kingzone are actually in a good situation if they can force a fight here and shut down someone like Ming, because that can lead straight to a Baron.
Feels like whoever's going to land the crowd control has enough damage to win the fight. There is just so much follow-up on both sides. If BDD can get a full channel on that ultimate, he's going to wreck some kids. There's no doubt about that. All right, 22 minutes on the clock, 2 towers to 1. Kingzone are now shifting their priorities. They got bottom and middle towers, which means the top outer is very, very low. Khan has done a good job of setting that up earlier. And of course, with the stage of the game, Baron is a possibility. So that's why they're clearing out the grab, setting up some vision in that area of the map.
Yeah, should be able to kill that top lane turret soon. He didn't actually use his banner on it just yet. Still do it right after. He's going to continue push with the cannon coming the next wave.
Yep, BDD remaining calm. Him on the Vel'Koz has been so big here for Kingzone in this game, where the pressure is really all coming together. They are backs against the walls, match point against RNG. They cannot afford to lose anymore.
Kingzone are up around 1,500 gold for now. Slowly climbing ahead. Next dragon is Infernal, several minutes away. So it just feels like it's waiting for a objective to contest or somebody out of position before these teams are willing to make a very big play. And, oh, we do have a pause.
Pressure was too much. The stress has mounted.
I'm personally thankful for this because the tension was building for me, let alone for the players on stage, waiting to see where and what will happen to set off the fights or the contests.
It's Kingzone who needs to force it at the moment. They are the ones with the Rakan engaged. They have insane burst damage coming from this Vel'Koz here. They're not starting Baron yet. I think they are too squishy at the moment to tank the Baron and still turn for a fight. So they're probably just waiting for another Infernal Drake to spawn.
Yeah, RNG can afford to be very careful right now. They're waiting to try and outplay this. They have huge crowd control abilities available. They're going to have to be very quick, though, once that engagement comes to try and answer, try and defend.
All right, as you can see on your screen, there's a Kingzone side pause. I believe that is the same issues reported earlier, so while our guys are investigating this, give us a few moments to talk about it. I want to ask about the scaling question. How different are these two teams? Because we're talking about how it was a little bit more pressure on Kingzone to be proactive and make the plays now.
Yeah, and that's still true. RNG, as I said, they can afford to be very confident and cautious right now. They've been coming up with a lot of good answers, a lot of good counter moves, and the gold is so close right now. Uzi having completed his second item on Kai'Sa that they're starting to feel pretty confident. So you really have to watch out for the big engagements, and the vision is going to be what sparks that pick.
Yeah, I think no matter also how far we go into this game, to the scaling question, like Kingzone's draft, because there's so much wombo combo damage, can always win a fight. But I can also just see the same fight where Ming's ulti is perfect, Illaoi gets knocked back out, and she doesn't provide anything in the fight, and then suddenly Uzi goes completely crazy on a Kai'Sa.
Yeah, that's a problem I see. There's no point and click here for Kingzone to deal with this Kai'Sa. And Uzi has been very good with his positioning and dodging to be able to deal the damage without exposing himself.
Yeah, I really want to see how he decides to use that ulti, because when you jump in as Kai'Sa, typically you end up in the middle of the enemy team.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. You don't really want to do that against things like Vel'Koz and Illaoi, because she's standing there being like, please come into my tentacles, I will smack you in the head. So if you are Uzi, you got to be super careful with how you're using it.
Yeah, and he should have a lot of options. Because of these CC abilities we keep mentioning for RNG, you know, Ornn, very long range. Xiaohu on Malzahar is going to be stacking Plasma on someone else. Skarner gets to stack Plasma on people as well. There should be lots of targets, you know, possible places for him to try and dodge these abilities, get away from the Illaoi, towards the priority targets, and you know, finish up.
Something that I love about this entire series today is it has felt like the drafts have been very good on both sides every single game, and it comes down to execution, setup, planning. It hasn't been those discussions that we've even had this very tournament, where question marks around champion pools, player preferences have come into account.
And we keep seeing new picks as well, like this draft, you can see on the side of Kingzone to the right, like these are 5 new champions compared to what they played in the previous game. They're like, we need early game jungler, that's then Olaf in here. We have Zyra Khan, so we can force plays around bottom side, and that Vel'Koz shows up because Malzahar was blind picked by Xiaohu, and it's an LCK special.
10 games in the LCK were played with Vel'Koz this split, and just to add on to that champion discussion, the fact that champions that have been banned have been allowed through. So Olaf found himself on the banned pool, was picked up. Vladimir in the previous game found himself banned in the opening 2 games, found himself banned this game because Xiaohu just popped off on that champion, Kobe. And as it stands, it's now going to come down to execution again. We're 23 minutes in, and this game is just about even. Kingzone marginally ahead.
Like we saw in game number 2, when BDD was able to step up and have a huge team fight and outplay, that could be all the difference. Right now, I'm looking at Gorilla for Kingzone. The difference between a well-played Rakan engage and a poor one is going to be the life and death of this team.
That's simple. There's 2 suppressions to get through. We'll see in an Ornn ultimate. Makes
he's probably going to die when he goes in.
Quick update, of course. The referees and the technical team backstage are reviewing the footage of the problem that was reported on the side of Kingzone. So while they're looking into that footage, we do have to continue just discussing and chatting some of the implications. But I really like what you said a few minutes ago to Fisher, that scaling, while yes, it is a factor, you can discuss it, the wombo combo capabilities and the fact that Kai'Sa, if played well, has to fling herself at the enemy, it creates opportunities to turn these fights on a dime.
Yeah, and that's going to be so fun to watch, because we're probably going to see both fights. We're going to see the one where Khan tries to walk in, he gets Malzahar ulted, and he just gets burned down in a second. We're like, oh, okay, that was pretty bad. But then the next fight, you overextend slightly, and BDD lands a wombo combo on his own, basically, and starts hitting an ulti on multiple members, proccing passives, and suddenly the fight is in Kingzone's favor. Because we're gonna get both, it just means that, especially the next big one that will give you Baron, that's probably going to be the most important one.
What I like is it doesn't feel like the first Baron right now will determine the game. There's still a lot of towers to burn through. It's only 23 minutes in. If you get absolutely obliterated.
I can see if Kingzone gets it
Right.
with a fight, that their composition is good enough to then snowball the game out and actually finish it really quickly. But on the other side, RNG, yeah, it just buys them more time to get Uzi in the late game.
All right, so we'll find out. I am hearing some updates that the players might hopefully be ready. We'll keep you informed as that goes forward. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Gentlemen, thank you very much for helping me discuss the game. We're going to head to the analyst desk with Dash and Crew.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. While the action takes a small pause, the fandom does not here in the Zenith Arena. But midway through Game 4 here, with their backs against the wall, Kingzone doing everything they can to extend us to a 5th game in the series.
Everything and more. I saw the Vel'Koz, and like they mentioned, LCK special, we saw plenty of it from Crown, and everything was going normal. There was a lost chapter. I'm like, okay, I see what this is all about. Let's attack it. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Syndra versus Malzahar, and I'm like, can they make it work? BDD's had another season behind him. Then the Aegis came in, my mind started to explode. They weren't even using the Banner of Command straight away. But still, so far, it's got them the turret, it's got them the lead, and getting a lead in the early game is something they have struggled to do.
And I think the important thing to look at here is the fact that Kingzone is up 3 turrets to 1. So they had a very good pressure draft, which is something they haven't been able to have in the first 3 games. Getting Uzi on the Kai'Sa, while terrifying for the late game, means they can actually get some lane pressure. The banner Vel'Koz is just absurd, but it will give you...
I saw how hard that was for you to say.
It dirty out of my
lowers
mouth.
the kill threat, and it pushes a lane. And no matter how many times an Alawi dies against an Ornn, you could be 0-6, you're still going to be able to push him in and be vulnerable to ganks. But because they have pressure in all 3 lanes, it means they're up 3 turrets, and this is a more comfortable situation for Kingzone to be in than I think they have been in all series.
My question is, where are they going to use the Alawi? Because Khan had this game off to a very rough start. Multiple times he was the target, trying to get that Ornn into a more favorable matchup, because this is a very difficult matchup for Ornn. You can see that Khan continued to push Let Me In despite getting the kills, but do they continue to play Khan in the side lane like the last time we saw his Alawi, or will they actually group up for the big 5v5?
And look, at the end of the day, the Ornn is a pressure valve. He goes top side. He actually doesn't have good pressure. The cast as mentioned a couple of times till Black Cleaver and then some, so of course he's annoying, of course he's getting some lane priority. He kept getting lane priority, kept getting ganked, but crucially, because we weren't seeing Sejuani, because we were seeing Olaf, because as you mentioned, it's a pressure draft, good things were happening where the top laner was not, and that was at least the start of some good map movements. The 3 turrets, that's a good sign for Kingzone.
And I think the game is at a bit of an inflection point, because currently, with the push that Kingzone has had in mid and bottom lane, they've been able to get 2 Drakes. Mountain and Infernal. Pretty happy about those
There's
Drakes.
another Infernal on the map.
And there's another Infernal on the way, a couple minutes away. Uzi's at a 2-item power spike. They have the Shurelya's Reverie on the Malzahar. They also have a Skarner, and there are not many QSSs yet on Kingzone. I think if RNG can't turn that fight around, if they just concede the Infernal and keep giving up turrets, that'll give them enough time to buy QSSs on Kingzone's side. And I